Welcome to the Impact Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Coach Andy James. I've put this podcast out here to provide support, guidance, and insight through real life experience that I've learned so that you can impact your life through my lessons. This is raw guidance that will help you evolve your body, brain, business, or career. My purpose is to help you build, grow, and evolve into the best version of yourself to live a healthy, wealthy, fulfilled life. Welcome to this episode. Enjoy. How are we doing today? So I hope you're having a great start to your day, regardless of what time it is, where you are in the world, and how you're currently consuming this. I hope you're going to make a ridiculously successful day today. So what's the topic on the cards today? There's been a lot that's been going on inside of my inbox over the past 3 or 4 weeks that has really raised concern in the sense of how people are seeing what they do with their health. Now, I don't want to make this about a health rant. What I do want to do is raise some awareness. Now, we do live in a day and age where speed to get to where we want, so the 24-hour on the doorstep kind of scenario, is usually the focus and the most important selling point for somebody to have an interest in doing something for themselves. So if I was to say to you, I could dress up a 12-week transformation and make it sound as sexy as possible. I really could. But that being said, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to pay attention to health and make the right conscious choice in doing so. A lot of people are looking to quick fix scenarios that's going to have something land on their doorstep within 24 hours. So we're talking about fat dissolving injections. We're talking about appetite suppressant pills, very low calorie diets. People are even taking vaping and smoking cigarettes to actually suppress appetite to stop them from eating and craving. All of these scenarios, some limited very testing on them, very limited testing in these areas. Others, we know the impacts of cigarette smoking. This in itself is alarming beyond belief because people are casting aside health. And I even had a comment which as a coach, as somebody that is really, really focused on health, even specifically for myself at this point in life, I'm somebody I've been active in my entire life. I'm currently 40 years old. I've gone through rounds and bouts of mental health. I've gone through rounds and bouts currently with low testosterone dysfunction. And all of these scenarios they're tough for me to deal with at times because I've had health as a forefront, as a focus in my mind my entire life. So how is it that I end up in these scenarios when I don't do drugs, I've very, very rarely drink, I've never smoked, all of the things that you're supposed to do to look after yourself. I've done this my entire life and I end up with these scenarios. There's people out there casting their health aside. And the comment that I had was, I don't care about my health, it's just about what I look like. And I was absolutely blown away because I can guarantee you now, somebody that thinks in a way where it's about what they look like, they will be forever chasing a goal that they will never achieve. And the reason why I know this is because I have seen this so many times over in this industry where people are chasing a goal. And when they get to the goal that they said initially that they set out to create or achieve, they get there and it's not enough. They want more. They want to take it further. It wants to be bigger. It wants to be better. And there's no recognition of, I actually achieved this. So it makes it enticing for somebody to say, well, if I can get there quicker, why wouldn't I do that? If I can cut some corners at the cost of my health, I can have what I want much, much sooner. So like I said, I could dress a 12-week transformation up and make it sound as sexy as possible, and it can be. But the reality is, if 12 weeks is too long, and you've only got like 2 weeks in mind, I can see where people are going with these decisions. I can see how people are getting to this point where they're saying, I'm going to take up something different. I'm going to do something that's risky. There's zero proof or very limited in the sense of data and health data coming back from these, let's just call them chemicals because that's what they are being introduced into the body. Whether they are appetite suppressant pills or fat dissolving injections, taking up vaping and smoking cigarettes to be able to suppress appetite. Again, even very low calorie diets. All of these things have huge, huge impacts on health. So consider this. If you were somebody that was seeing these hyped up social media, in the media types of ways of getting to a result. And it seems very appealing to be able to say, well, I have to do less and I can get more. Do you think getting to the result that you're actually asking for is rewarded in how you physically feel about getting there? Because you're not actually caring about the process, which is you growing as an individual. And as you know, like I built Impact Evolution on the forefront of being a better version. That is literally our motto, is build, grow, evolve. And inside of that, it is about developing personal development, personal habits, physique, mindset, career, just life enjoyment, lifestyle. All of these things is exactly what we do on the inside of Impact Evolution. Now, on the inside of that, if I was to remove health as the focus, health is the thing that's going to carry you through everything for the rest of your life. It's going to be the thing that keeps you balanced from stress. It's going to keep you in tune with what you're asking for from your life. You're going to be in a process of knowing who you are and how to discover yourself. Health is an anchor that can literally give you back so much more from what you're currently experiencing. Now, if you say to me, I don't care about my health, but I only care about what I look like, I'm going to ask you, it's not about what you look like, because what you look like is detrimental to your health. So if you're going to remove health off the table, this isn't about pleasing you. This is about how you appear to everybody else. And if you don't like how you look in the presence of other people, you've got a problem with who you see in the mirror right now. And that person that you see in the mirror, that's a mindset job. That's not a physical thing. That's a mindset thing. And you need to start doing some work for yourself to start discovering what it means to be in progress. Now, people give effort, and I'm not knocking this. And I know they do give effort, but the sense in what people give in effort is usually to the bare minimum, the physical bare minimum of where they want to get to. And they will factor in everything else about life around this and say, well, it stops me. No, you stop you. You set that limitation. It comes on a priority scale. If it means something to you, you will create the space and time for this. I want to put a very, very alarming scenario. So this might sound a little bit triggering for some. So bear with me. But if you were told that you had 4 weeks to live, how do you think you're going to live those next 4 weeks? If you were told that in that 4 weeks, you could extend that 4 weeks to maybe 4 months, maybe 4 years, but it would require you to focus on all of those health markers. Would you opt to have a short 4 weeks, but look your best in that 4 weeks and be done? Or would you say, actually, you know what? I'm going to pay attention to the health markers. I am going to be aware. I am going to do the work. And yes, it might take me a little bit longer to do this the way that it should be done to get to where I want to be. But at least I'm not jeopardizing everything else along the way by taking these shortcuts to get to what I think is where I want to be. So do you take the 4 week route, or do you take the opportunity behind door B and go, there's maybe 4 months, there's maybe 4 years, there's maybe 40 years, but it requires you doing the work. Most people don't want to do the work. They don't want to sit there and have that conversation with themselves. It makes them feel uncomfortable because they are literally facing things in a mirror with themselves and saying to themselves, I can't do this. It's not in me. I want to get here as quick as possible. Everything that it's based around is pleasing other people. Who is it that you're actually trying to please? Yourself. Why is it that you're in this situation in the first place? It's because you lost yourself somewhere along the way. And cutting corners to get to where you think you want to be isn't the solution to solve the problem right now. There's way more work that needs to be done rather than just popping pills, using injections, or going down the smoking route, introducing nicotine, and running the risks of creating even further health complications down the line. These are all drastic measures. Now, even to the point where you've got VLC diets, very low calorie diets, you can look at this in the short term. Yes, you can perform these, and immediately you will see some kind of drastic response from the body. But the kickback on all of this is they are guaranteed to not be sustainable, because the body is not prepared to live on sub 1,000 calories, 800 calories every single day. You've got to try and find a way of creating a sustainable route to be able to get to where you want to be and live life the way you want to do. This doesn't mean using fat-dissolving injections or appetite suppressant pills. What it means is understanding what your body actually requires, what it needs, where your physical capabilities are, what meets the intake versus the output. You have to look at everything as a whole, including your stress, your recovery, how you're training. Your entire life needs to be assessed in a way where you can actually have this sculpted, molded, and laid out in front of you so you know exactly what you need to be doing to get to where you want to go with all the time in the world that you deserve to have. If somebody had turned around to you in 10 years' time and you'd been using, say, a fat-dissolving injection for 5 years to get to the goal that you're looking to, and all of a sudden, in 10 years, you stopped using them at 5 years. After that 10 years, a GP, a medical professional, something happened that raised alarm bells for you to go into somewhere and get checked out. And they turned around to you and said, "Did you use fat-dissolving injections for X amount of years?" "I did, yes." "Yeah. You've created this problem right now." And the reality is none of that needed to be done, because you could have just done the way that it's supposed to be done, is monitoring what you're supposed to be doing with your health. Now, like I say, this doesn't mean that being strict with calories 24/7, tracking food every single day for the rest of your life is going to be a normal life. That's not the case at all. What it means is being mindful of how you consume food, the relationship that you have with it. How do you respond when you're emotionally triggered? A lot of people go to food for comfort, and that's understandable, but you need to be able to be in control of what that looks like when those stressful times are literally at the forefront of what you're doing. We aren't going to coast through life with zero stress. Stress and like emotional triggers, they're always going to be a confrontational time with food, because food gives us comfort in so many different ways. And if we can just let that go for a second, all of a sudden we're now not paying attention to what that food looks like. And maybe a month, 2 months pass, and all of a sudden you're starting to feel a little bit unlike yourself. 12 months passes and you're still in this frame of mind where you've not come back to taking those health markers as priority and reintroducing them again. Nobody said you had to live a life of strict limitation with foods and dialed into a dieting process. What you need to know is how to be flexible, how to create sustainability. Using these shortcuts are dangerous. They're dangerous now, and they're dangerous to your future health as well. There is limited testing in saying what they're actually doing to the insides of your body and whether they're actually decreasing life expectancy. We're looking to give you as much time as possible. One of the key things that I do with all of my clients is focus on how can we improve the quality of life through taking fitness and health as an anchor that can really help people propel themselves and move forwards. To be able to do this, you need to know the routes of how you go about personal development. And that personal development is going to be the key that unlocks everything for you later on down the line. And that's not just all the woo-woo stuff that people seem to think that personal development is. It's not. It's how you treat habits. It's how you build your daily routines. It's how you actually prioritize and see yourself on the scale of what's important to me. Most people neglect themselves to say, "Oh, I'm not important, so I'm going to take health out of the equation. I'm going to take something that's going to put me at risk. Therefore, I might look great in the next 3 weeks. But after that, who knows what the future holds for me? Who knows what I've just done to my body in this, just for the sake of seeking vanity?" You can have all of that. And no matter what stage you are at life, you can have it. You can come up with every excuse under the sun, and I'm going to come back with one that's going to solve that problem. Now, the thing is, what you don't want to face is that it's going to take a little bit of work and a little bit of effort. And removing the timescale of how long it takes you to get there, it's about doing the work. It's not always about getting to the result. Because I can tell you, I've been in every shape and form I've ever said that I wanted to be able to achieve, through bodyweight and calisthenics, through to going down into a ridiculous dieting phase to nearly 6% body fat, to going into powerlifting and gaining additional body fat. All of these different things created different physiques. Every single one of them I achieved, and not one of them I said to myself at that point in time, "Oh, I'm done it now. I've succeeded. I want to stay at this point." You don't. You want to explore more. You want to see where you can go, what you can do. There's different flavors for different seasons of life. And that's what it should be all about, is exploring what they look like to you at certain times in certain places throughout your life. So don't put your health as a back marker. Make it the forefront of what you're thinking about. Don't take these corners that may sound enticing. You know, when you see these jumped up adverts on social media, or people pushing certain things through social media where they're screaming from the rooftops that it's the best thing they've ever done, chances are they're probably shitting through the eye of a needle. They're probably dehydrated like hell. They're potentially using something that is going to be changing their health internally, like injectables for fat dissolving, as well as appetite suppressants. Or you could be introducing something along the lines of, say, cancer, etc., from taking up cigarette smoking just for the sake of vanity. Is it worth it? That's what I want to leave you with, is it is not worth it. Those shortcuts are only going to get you somewhere right now. That right now only matters at that point. What about everything else after it? What about all those decisions that you made in the short term that impact everything later on down the line? That's what I want to raise some awareness around with this one today. So I'm going to leave you with that thought, because if there's ever anything that you want to be able to talk about in the sense of I'm about to make this decision, please, any social media platform at Coach Andy James, you can get me on any of them. Come and talk to me, drop me an inbox, drop me a message, and we can have a chat about what you might think. I'm not going to try and sit here and sell you anything. If coaching is not for you, it's not for you. But I believe every single person can benefit from having a level of coach in their life, because there's so much untapped potential in every single person. And that being said, if you're going to really see a result from doing something for yourself, it's got to be rewarded. It's got to be rewarding to you. You need to be able to make sure that it has value to you. Taking a shortcut, all it's going to do is temporary self-satisfaction, small personal gain. There's a nothingness that sits there after that. And that's a big risk to your health and to the rest of your life, to be able to say, I'm going to cast my health aside in the sake of seeking 24-hour drop shipped results on my doorstep tomorrow. So please make better decisions. Please make informed decisions. And if you are ever confused, if you're ever caught up in this process or ever wondering, at Coach Andy James, shoot me a message. I'm not going to sell you coaching. I just want to make sure that you're making right choices for you, for your life, and for your future, so that at least you get the best one possible. And if you do want to be coached, fine by me. There's a space on my team for you. You have an awesome start to your day, whenever it is that you're consuming this. And I'm always around if you need to have a chat. Speak to you soon. Take care. If you're still here at this point, thank you. I appreciate your support, and I hope you got some value from this podcast. If you did, we grow by word of mouth, so sharing this podcast with a friend or to your social media profile would be a huge honor. Thanks again. Hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.